Okay, hello. Hello to all the carers in Tower Hamlets and Hackney. And my name's Sraddhagita, or Gita, as you know me. And today I'm going to do some yoga, which I hope you can join in with me. So yeah, we've been really thinking of you here at Breathing Space. You'll recognise my backdrop is the room we usually meet in on Tuesday mornings. So we thought we'd do the yoga film from here. And yeah, as I said, we've been really missing you. Charlie, Caro and I have been missing seeing you in person, but we're really glad that we've been able to connect with you over WhatsApp, through Zoom meetings, and through just sharing meditations and things like this. So, okay, we're going to start lying down. So you can come onto your backs, have your feet about, if you've got a yoga mat, which you might not have, you probably haven't, that's fine, but have your feet out a little bit wider than your hips, and then just ease yourself down onto a blanket maybe. You could have a blanket for this practice, and then you can just let the knees drop together. So the hips are just turning internally a little bit and the knees can drop together. Feet on the ground, and then just bring the hands onto the belly, and we're just going to start with a little bit of centering, because you might have been busy just before listening to this, so it's good to just take a minute to connect with the body and the breath. So one of the ways of really connecting with the body is to feel all the points of contact that you have with the ground. So feel the soles of your feet and your toes on the ground, your back, shoulders, backs of the arms, back of the head, and as best you can, letting your back spread out on your blanket or mat, and letting yourself be supported by the ground, by the earth below you. And then just start to notice how the body feels. Notice any sensations in the body. You might feel some energy in your legs. You might feel some warmth in the heart area. And you might feel some sensations connected with the contact of your feet on the ground. And then just start to notice your breath. Notice that you're breathing in and you're breathing out. And see if you can feel the breath in the body. Just be aware that you have a breathing body. A body that's alive with the breath. And feel that movement of the breath. A bit like a breeze flowing through the body. And notice how the body moves as you breathe. And just follow a few breaths. letting your breath and your body anchor you in awareness. And however you're feeling, whatever you've been doing up till now, just see if you can give yourself this time just to breathe, just to be here, now, breathing. Having a little break from your caring duties, your caring role, and just bringing some kindness and care towards yourself. And then we're going to slowly start to move the body. Going to move quite gently. You can start to open your eyes. Just have a soft gaze at whatever's above you. Noticing the light, the shadow. And then keeping the left foot on the ground, see if you can just draw your right knee towards your chest and just bring the knee close as you can to the chest, just holding the knee there for a moment. And then just take your right hand onto the knee and just draw a few little circles with the knee in the hip socket. So just gently starting to move the hip on the knee. This area in our hip flexors can get a bit tight from lots of sitting, so it's nice just to bring a little bit of movement there. And then you can also straighten that right leg, and you could bring your hands behind the thigh if you can, and then just point and stretch the toes. So stretching the toes towards the ceiling and then flexing the foot and stretching the sole of the foot. And you're going to feel this all the way down the back of the leg into the hamstrings. So just stretching and pointing a few times. And then you can also draw some circles with the foot going in one direction. And you might get a bit of cracking, and that's okay. That's fine, that's completely normal. And then the other way. Lots of stuff can get all a bit stuck in the feet, so it's good to stretch them out and stretch and rotate the ankle. And then again, point and stretch. And then we're going to bring that right ankle over our left knee and let the right knee draw away from us. And just open the hip a little bit here. And this might be enough. This is quite a nice stretch for the right hip. But you could also, if you want to, you can take this a little bit further. You could bring your right hand round to the back of your left thigh and your left hand there too. And then you could press the thigh into the hands and try and bring the left knee towards you. And at the same time, bring the right knee away. So it's a bit of a deeper stretch, but try and keep the shoulders on the ground if you can. And if that's really hard, if you feel like you're coming up like this, then maybe just release the hands and let the shoulders come down. You'll still get a nice stretch there. So just working at a place that feels comfortable and that doesn't cause tension in the body. So you don't want to cause tension in your shoulders in order to open the hips. So yeah, just letting the body slowly open. And again, connect with the breath, breathing. And then let the left foot come back down, bring the right foot back on the floor, and then just notice the difference between the two sides. Probably the right leg, the right hip maybe feels different to the left now. Mine certainly does. Okay, so then we're going to swap sides. So bring the left knee in towards the chest. You can interlace the fingers if you want to. Draw the knee towards you, keeping the right foot on the ground. And just feel that stretch here in the hips, hip flexor. Try and let the shoulders soften and melt down into the ground. And then you can take the left hand and start to draw a few little circles with the knee in the hip socket. And then we're going to stretch that left leg up, bring the hands behind us. If we want for a bit of support, press the back of the thigh into the hands and the hands into the thigh. And then point the toes and stretch the sole and the heel and the toes. So pointing and stretching a few times. And if it's painful at the back of the leg on the hamstring, just softly bend the knee a little bit and it'll be a bit less strong. So you don't have to go to the maximum with these poses. You can always soften into them a bit more by just relaxing the knee a little bit. And again, you might feel a little bit of cracking and releasing in the toes and the foot. And then drawing some circles with the ankle and the toes and the foot going in one direction and then the other direction. And then a few more pointing and stretching of the toes. And then let's bring that left ankle now over the right knee and draw that left knee away from us. So the left foot can be quite active, so you can activate, flex the toes a little bit and draw that hip away, that knee away. And again, this might be enough like this. This is quite a nice stretch. And also you might have one hip that's a bit tighter, so you might have to work differently on both sides. And then if you want to, if it's available to you, you could also bring the hands behind that right thigh, pressing thigh into hands, hands into thigh. Draw the left knee away and try and draw the right knee towards you. So you've got a few different actions happening in this pose that you're doing all at the same time. And you're doing great. I can see you all doing really well. And I'm imagining you all out there. So So keep letting the shoulders soften, let the face soften, and try and send the breath into the hip area, encouraging that sense of space and openness. One more breath, and then releasing that right foot down, releasing the left foot onto the ground, and now feeling both legs. Hopefully they feel, and both hips feel a bit more even again. Notice the effect. And then we're going to just bring both knees to the chest, have a hand on each knee, and draw some circles. You can start quite small, and then you could get a bit bigger. So we're giving our sacrum right down into the base here, a nice little massage, and then going in the other direction. And then coming to stillness, hugging both the knees towards us. And then see if we can lift the head towards the knees. Can we lift up a little bit on the inhale? Then as we exhale, release down again. Inhale up, exhale down. Let's try that 3 times. Inhaling the head towards the knees. You don't have to get very far. And exhale down. And then bring the feet down to the ground again. And now we're just going to let the knees drop from side to side into what's called a fluid or a moving twist, or sometimes it's called windshield wipers. So one knee rolls out, one knee rolls in. And you can let your chest move in the direction that the knees are moving as well. But try and keep the shoulder, the opposite shoulder from the way the knees are going, down on the ground. So just doing a few of these. Great, this is a nice little twist for the back. So you can breathe in, bring the knees up, breathe out, bring the knees down. So you can wrap the movement around the breath. Inhale, the knees up, exhale, the knees down. A few more. Great, well done, and then back to center. And now we're going to just lift the back a few times. So you might want to take hold of your blanket, or you might just want to have your hands on the ground. Probably on the ground is a bit better. And then having the feet again on the ground, see if you can spread the toes a little bit. And then we're going to try inhaling and just lifting our bottom off the ground and starting to lift the back. We might not get very high, it doesn't matter. Then you can exhale and let the back come all the way back down to the ground. And then the next time you inhale, you can slowly peel the back off the ground. Maybe you'll go a little bit higher, pressing the feet into the ground, and then release down again. Again, inhaling, lifting, maybe coming up a bit higher, or maybe not. Exhaling, let the back just roll down again, vertebrae by vertebrae. A few more. Lift the hips, press the feet into the ground and draw energy up from the earth, and then release back down. One more like this, so lifting up, and we're just going to hold this for 2 breaths. So breathe in, press the feet into the ground, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out, and then slowly release. And then we're just going to add our arms now. So we're going to do the same movement, but we're going to lift the arms above our head as we breathe in as well. So we inhale, We lift the hips and we lift the arms over our head. So it's a nice stretch through the fingers, and then exhale, bring the hips back down and the back, and bring the hands down alongside the body. Inhaling, lift the arms, lift the hips, stretching up, and then exhale, releasing. And you might find that you yawn as you bring your arms over your head. I just did, so it's fine. Inhaling, lifting the hips and the arms, stretching, and exhaling down. Last one, inhaling, lift those arms, good, stretch back, and then exhaling, bringing the hips down and bringing the arms alongside the body. And again, for a moment, just feeling the breath in the body. And then we're going to roll over onto our side. So just bring the knees over to the side. You could just bring your head onto your arm for a moment. Tuck the knees a little bit towards the chest. And then you can gently push yourself up. And we're going to come up now onto all fours. So I'm going to bring the hands and the wrists under our shoulders, knees under the hips. So this is called a tabletop position, and you'll remember this when we've done yoga on retreat or on the carers' days. So first of all, we're going to let the spine be neutral. Just start to move a little bit from side to side, or forward and back. There's no right way here. We can just start to move and let the body just move how it wants to. Back and forward. And then we're going to do a few cat-cows. So you'll remember these. So as you inhale, you lift your chest and you lift the sitting bones. So you're arching the back on the inhale. And then as you exhale, you're rounding, dropping the head, dropping the tail, and then inhaling again, bringing the chest forward and up, lifting the sitting bones, arching back. And then exhale, pressing the hands into the ground and releasing the head and the tail. Inhaling and exhaling, and as you exhale, draw the navel a little bit back towards your spine. So it's as if you're gently zipping up your trousers just lightly. As you exhale, inhale, lengthen and lift the chest. Exhale, round. Inhale and exhale. And come back to neutral. And I forgot to say, actually, you might want a bit of extra padding for your knees. So if you've got another blanket, you could have another blanket here. And you could have your knees on the blanket. That's quite nice. So we're going to do a little stretch now for the hamstrings. So we're going to lengthen out the left leg, come onto our toes, and just stretch the heel back towards the back of the room. So it's a nice stretch for the back of our legs again. And then bring that knee back into all fours, and then the right leg stretches back onto the ball of the foot, stretching that leg, lengthening the heel backwards. One more time on each side. So left foot and leg stretches back, spreading the fingers to support the posture, and then right leg, and stretching back to center, back to neutral. And now we're going to try lifting the left leg. So we're going to be balancing on the top of the right toes and our hands. We're not going to lift very high. See if you can point the toes down so the leg stays in line with your hip. And then going to inhale and then just exhale and bring the knee forward towards the forehead. And then inhale, lengthen. Great. And exhale. Bring the knee towards the forehead. Last one. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale towards the forehead. And then try that on the other side. So right leg back, keeping it aligned. You can have a look behind, just checking. So heel upwards, toes towards the ground. Not that high. Inhale, and then exhale. Knee towards the chest and forehead towards the knee. Inhale, lengthen back. Exhale, knee towards the forehead and chest. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Great, well done, brilliant. So we're going to try something a bit harder now. So we're going to try lifting our left leg and our right arm. So just see if you can balance like this, stretching the right fingers forward and the left sole of the foot, the heel back. So just one more breath here. Great, fantastic, and release. And then the other side, so right foot stretches back, so establishing that bit first, and then left hand stretches forward, stretching the fingers, lifting the chest. 2 breaths. Great, and release. And then bring the knees back. And then we're going to see if we can come into a really nice, gentle downward dog, which again you'll know. So bring the hips back towards the heels. We're going to lift the knees. Just come onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, lift our sitting bones, stretching the fingers, spreading out the fingers, and drawing the hands forward. And then we can just walk a little bit with our feet, pedaling the feet, and bending and straightening the legs. You might want to bounce a little bit on the balls of your feet. Great, and then let the knees come down to the ground. You can bring the big toes together, and then you could stack your arms and let your head rest on your arms, coming into a child's pose. So let the hips move towards the heels, or if they're on the heels, really letting them be heavy. And let the chest move towards the ground. And then bring the hands in front of you again, slowly come up. And we're going to do a little twist now, so seated. You can kneel if you want to, or if you've had enough of being on your knees, you could bring a cushion behind you and you could sit like this as well. So we're going to do a little twist. I'm going to do mine kneeling down. So I'm going to bring my left hand onto my right knee, right hand behind me, and I'm going to make a teepee shape with my fingers. So just behind me like this, left hand on the right knee, and then I'm going to slowly lengthen up. So it's as if I've got a thread pulling the crown of my head upwards, and then I'm just going to turn towards the right. Just a little twist for the spine. And then as I breathe, I might be able to find a little bit more rotation. But keep thinking about lengthening and then finding a bit more rotation. One more breath. And then release and swap sides. This time bring the right hand onto the left knee, left hand behind, and lengthen up and then find some rotation. And then slowly coming back. Just going to show you that in the other, with the other leg variation, the Sukhasana. So you can try this one as well. So same thing, left hand onto right knee, find a little bit of turn here from this lengthening upwards. And then swing the right arm round onto the left knee, left hand behind. And again, lengthen up and turn. So it's good to sit up on a block or a cushion if you need to, so that you can keep the back nice and long. And then slowly back to center. Great. Well done. And then we're going to come up to standing now. So you probably won't need your blanket. We're going to come up into a balance. So you can do this balance with both feet on the ground, or you can do it with on one foot. So if you know that you find it difficult to balance, you might want to be near a wall or a pillar or something like that. But it is possible to do this balance like this. So I've got my left foot on the ground and I'm on the ball of my right foot. Okay, and that's fine. And then I'm going to bring my hands into my chest. So we'll do this one together first of all. And then I'm going to bring my hands into cactus. And then I'm going to lift my arms up and I'm balancing on the ball of my right foot, and I've got all the weight in a way going down through the left foot. So my left toes are spreading, big toe and outer heel are active. Great, well done. So you can carry on with trying that one again in a minute, or you could bring this right foot onto your ankle now. So that's quite low. You might find, oh, suddenly you feel a bit wonky. You might want to bring the foot below the knee. That's another option. Or you could take hold of the heel and bring it into the inner groin of the opposite leg. But if you're going to do that, really find the balance first of all. You can see I'm sort of moving about a bit, partly to show you what that's like. And then I'm going to bring my hands to the heart. And as I press my hands together, I can also start to lift through the core muscles. So I'm lightly zipping up again, as if I'm zipping up my trousers, and then reaching upwards towards the sky from the belly and moving downwards right into the foot from the belly. So those are the actions that we're looking for. Great. This might be enough. You might want to bring the hands into cactus, see if that affects your balance. And it's good to find a still point to look at. So look at something ahead of you that's not moving. And then you can lift the arms up as well if you want to go a bit further with this. But just to show you, you can also do this with your foot on your ankle like this, and you're still balancing, you're still learning the balance, and you're still turning the hip out. Okay, so there's a few options there. And then we're going to go on to the other side. So now I'm on the ball of my left foot and weight going through my right foot. So first of all, finding my balance, finding my ground. Then I'm going to bring my palms towards me. Then maybe into cactus, stretching the shoulders back, opening the heart and chest, and then lifting the arms up. Weight going down through my right foot mostly. Palms could come together or not. And then slowly coming down, so you can carry on with that one, or you can bring the foot onto the ankle, turning the thigh, or you can bring it higher. But the only place not to have the foot is on the knee, because you don't want to be putting pressure on the knee with your foot. So just make sure the foot's not on the knee. Anywhere else is fine. Bring the hands together. Turn this left knee out from wherever you are. Cactus arms is quite good to do, just to get that balance. And if your tree is a bit wobbly, see if you can let yourself be blown by the wind, and then slowly stretch up. Fantastic, great. And then release the hands, release the leg. Well done. Okay, so we're going to come back down onto the ground now after that standing pose, because we're coming to the end of this yoga class. So we're going to just come back down onto the ground. You probably don't have one of those nice bolsters that we often use, but what you can use is you can roll up a blanket and you can put this behind your knees. So this is quite nice for the legs. It's a nice way of supporting the knees, giving them a bit more support behind you, behind the knees, not behind you, behind the knees. And then you can let your arms be nice and heavy. You can widen the legs, widen the arms. And just feel the body after doing those poses. Feel the energy in the body. Maybe you can feel the muscles around the core, around the belly that have worked a little bit. Maybe you can feel a bit more openness in the hip area. Perhaps a bit more sort of awareness of the back. Perhaps the spine feels a bit more open. But now just giving yourselves a few moments to rest and relax. Again, letting your weight drop down and be supported by the ground. And giving yourself a few moments of quiet, a little pause before whatever you're going to be doing next. And let your face soften, particularly around the mouth and the jaw, and also around the eyes and the forehead. And let the arms be heavy and the legs be heavy. And let the shoulders slide down the back, melt into the ground. And let the back melt too. And let your fingers soften. And then feel the breath. Be aware again of your breathing body, lying still. And this breeze of breath blowing through. And if you want to, You can lie here like this for a bit longer. Just really letting yourself rest. But if you need to move now, then you can slowly start to bring a bit of movement into the fingers and toes, just giving them a little stretch. You might want to rotate your wrists and ankles. And you might also want to stretch the arms overhead, taking a delicious yawn as if you've just woken up from a nice siesta, which I hope you have. And then bring the feet onto the ground again, or soles of the feet onto the ground. Let yourself come over onto the side, rest here for a moment. So not rushing to come up, taking your time. Hand on the floor, foot on the floor, and gently push yourself up. And then we're just going to sit together, and I'm going to read you a short part of a poem, and it's a blessing. So this is from a poet called John O'Donoghue. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. Thanks for joining me today. It's really good to practice with you, and yeah, I hope this yoga practice helps you in your day-to-day life and gives you a bit of a break and a rest from your caring responsibilities. Thanks a lot. Hope to see you all soon.